Hello everybody, I am back once again. Now in this video, I'm going to be showing you how I made this artsy inspired dress that I have on right now. I am not uploading really regularly right now, but I should get it in check. This is my second upload on my channel, so I should be coming out with many more uploads. I'm trying to do it once a week. Let's see how it goes. I don't really have a lot of time because I have so much homework, you know. Now this dress was inspired by this fabric I found in my fabric bin. Kind of reminded me of the Starry Night portrait by... I hope you enjoy the video, and without further ado, let's get started. I started out making this dress by selecting 3 separate fabrics. I selected an artsy fabric for the skirt, a light green for the bodice, and a dark green that was stretchy for the belt. I'll go more in depth about this later in the video. Just make sure you're cutting out the front panel of the bodice wider than you normally would. After I finished cutting out all the pieces, I started pinning them together I'm sorry, I really cannot stand this music right now. It's terrible. Is it just like me who hates royalty-free music, but like specifically with the ukulele? But I literally can't deal with it. It's like making my ears bleed. What was I saying again? Was I talking about the neckline? Yeah, so my favorite method of sewing bodices is having like 2 panels for each piece so that you can sew it at the neckline and the sleeves, so it's really clean when you turn it inside out instead of like turning it over and sewing it down and covering it with something. I find just flipping it inside out easier, in my opinion. This part's pretty boring if I'm to be honest, so like, I found all my long lost cereals. I was thinking that my mom kept throwing out my cereal bags when they got to a certain point. Like, I'm the one who likes to keep like the very bottom of the bag. Like, if there's still cereal in it, if there's like 2 specks of cereal in the bag, I'm not throwing it out. So I thought that she threw them out, and I was like really sad because I had some Reese's Puffs, some Captain Crunch, some Rice Krispies. I was thinking that the box of like Timbit cereal I had like looked a bit buff. I looked inside the box because I was gonna have some Timbit cereal, and all my cereal bags were inside the top of the box. So like, she didn't throw them out, but she also didn't tell me where they were, so I was missing like a month of my favorite cereals, and now they're all stale, so yeah. Anyway, what was I doing again? Now for the skirt, I was playing around with various different pleats. Like, at first I did some box pleats, which didn't really look very nice. I could never get the box pleats to sit well on such a firm fabric, since every time I tried to change the direction of the knife pleats, it looked awful, and there was like this really weird like lump in the front where like it didn't exactly pleat properly. So I just did like knife pleats in the same direction. The skirt actually took like 300 centimeters of fabric, like long. Wait, is it long or wide? Okay, I think it was 55 centimeters long, because like long is, yeah, 55 centimeters long and 300 centimeters wide. I hope that made sense. I made that way more complicated than it needed to be. If you're actually following along, this part's pretty simple. easy, but it's a very important step. You have to iron down the seams of the bodice, the skirt, so that they lay flat on you and they don't like bulk up. Like for example, in the bodice it looked really unflattering, and also in the skirt, and it's also easier to sew that way. I've neglected to do this in the past, and I mean, the dress turned out fine, but it could have been better in my opinion if I had put the finishing touches on. To make the button-up look of the bodice, I actually cut out the front panel of the bodice wider than I normally would so that I could fold over part of it to make it look like it was a button-up. The buttons aren't actually functional on this dress, it's just for looks. But basically what I did was I folded over the fabric of the bodice and I sewed it down and sewed the buttons to that, if that makes sense. I'm really bad at explaining stuff. Just what I did in the video. Here I created a fabric bow to add on to the side of the dress. Bows are probably one of my favorite things to decorate dresses with, so I love adding them whenever I can. This actual method of making fabric bows I didn't actually come up with. I actually learned how to do it in a video, and I won't go in depth on how to make one in this video. I'll link the original video that shows how to make the fabric bows in the description. I made the collar by tracing the neckline onto a piece of paper and drawing the collar from there. When you're drawing the collar, you're going to want to make it bigger than you want it by 5 millimeters so that when you sew the two pieces together and you flip it inside out, it's not smaller than you expected it to be. You're also going to want to do this in 2 parts. Most collars are sewn on in one piece, but I always find it easier to just do it in 2 pieces and sew it at the back. I'll also add that when you make the collar in 2 pieces, it gives more leeway if you accidentally measure something wrong. The collar doesn't bunch up at the back because it's not exactly measured to the length of the neckline, so it gives more leeway for mistakes if you make it in 2 parts. You can use whatever buttons you want for this. I'm using 1 centimeter buttons, like buttons with a diameter of 1 centimeter. If you're American, tell your country to get their crap together, okay? Move to metric. It's so much better. Also, I can't convert to inches, so just put it in a calculator. I don't know. So this part is for the sleeve. Now this sleeve is kind of like a puff sleeve, except that you don't ruffle the top. You're gonna want to make 3 uniform pleats in the sleeve. You've also got to make sure that it measures up to the actual sleeve opening on the dress. So I'd suggest pinning it to the sleeve multiple times just to make sure you have the measurements right. If you didn't understand what I just said, just do what I did in the video. There was actually a very important detail about making the sleeves that I forgot to add in and record, so I'm going to try and explain it now. You actually have to fold over the bottom of the sleeves 2 or 3 times. I drew a diagram to make it easier to understand, I guess. I feel really bad that I forgot to record this part because it's pretty crucial to how I made the sleeves, but I hope this makes sense. So fold it over at the bottom once and fold it at the bottom again. So twice, 3 times if you feel like you need it. However many times you fold it over, the sleeve is going to be shorter and shorter. So I have been searching for the sleeve for my dress for half an hour, and I forgot. I pinned it to the dress, and I forgot because I'm an idiot. It's been pinned the whole time, and I've been looking for 30 minutes. Yes, I'm very intelligent. To make the bonnet, you will need to cut out 3 identical circles and cut out smaller circles out of 2 of the 3 larger circles. The 3 large circles should be about 30 centimeters in diameter, and the smaller circles should be about 20 centimeters. I didn't use an exact measurement, I just kind of went around my house and measured circular thingies until I found ones that were close enough. Don't cut directly on the lines, by the way. Make sure to give yourself some seam allowance, however much seam allowance you're comfortable with. I usually do 5 millimeters to about a centimeter seam allowance. Take the 2 circles that have the circles cut out of them and sew together the inner circles. Turn them inside out and iron down the circles until they lay flat. Pin the circle with the hole in it to the circle that doesn't have the hole in it and sew it where you pin it. Oh, and by the way, Cornelius came out to say hi to all the viewers and see what I was doing. He says hi. If you didn't know, Cornelius is my very cute corn snake, and I'm starting to think that he is actually a she, since he/she are like not that big, because male corn snakes are usually pretty big by now, and he/she is pretty small, so I'm starting to think Cornelius is a she, but he is a he for now. Once you're finished making the bonnet, cut a strip of the same fabric, fold it over, and make a cut at the top of the hat. Very, very tiny, by the way. Do not cut this too much because it would be a nightmare. Make a very tiny hole in the center of the top of the hat and put the strip through. Use some fabric glue, or if you don't have fabric glue, just use a glue gun and glue it to the inside of the hat. There should be a little thingy coming out of the top of the hat. And with that, the dress is done. This is the finished result. I hope you enjoyed watching the video. I had a lot of fun making this dress. It was very time consuming and it took a lot of redos because I just couldn't get the skirt pleated properly and a bunch of other things. But it turned out okay. I really like the dress personally. I hope you did too. And I hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you liked this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel because I can promise I will be doing a lot more uploads, more Chip? See, I am the cutest dog in the world. If you want to see more of Chip, the cutest dog in the world, then subscribe to my YouTube channel for more of Chip. Or if you'd like to see more of me making dresses, then you should also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Or both, because, you know, hit 2 birds with 1 stone. Anyways, that would be all for this video, and I will see you in the next one.